In our previous comprehensive tutorials, you became quite familiar with the bit switch, and we spent some time going through its various settings together. Here, in this specific setup, I've used a bit switch. When I activate the bit switch, one of the PLC outputs is immediately activated for me. By simply pressing this bit switch, I can toggle the signal on and off as needed. Today's lesson is focused on the word switch. With the help of the word switch, we can activate or deactivate several different PLC outputs simultaneously, which is a very powerful feature. Here, I've used two word switches for this demonstration. One specifically for the start command and one for the stop command. When I press the start button, three separate PLC outputs are activated at the exact same time, and when I press the stop button, those same outputs are deactivated instantly. As I explained earlier, today's lesson is all about the word switch. Within this section, if you click on the part labeled word switch and navigate to the main page of the XB Builder software, you can create a new word switch anywhere you click on the screen. As you can see here, I've already used two word switches, and if I click right here, you'll see it has various detailed settings available. With these menus, we can configure the specific settings for our project. The first section is related to basic settings, which is very similar to what we saw with the bit switch. With this window here, if you click on it, you can specify the exact word address you want to assign a value to. In this case, I have specified qwsafe.safe.com 0. Just like what I taught you previously with the bit switch, here you can select your specific controller, and you can also specify different memory types depending on your needs. For example, you can select MW, IW, or QW from the list. If you select MW, it means you are choosing a word from the internal memory, for example, an MW from the PLC's internal memory, and you can assign a specific value to it using this section. Here, if you select IW, you can assign a value to a word from the inputs. Or if you select QW, like in the example we are doing here, you can assign values to the PLC's outputs, up to 16 outputs at once, for example, setting them to 0 or 1. So with this section labeled Device Select, you can easily choose the memory or the input-output to which you want to assign the word value. This allows for much more efficient control over your automation system. Right here, we can see that there is an operand section that consists of two distinct parts. One specific part takes a fixed value directly from us, very similar to the practical example we did just a moment ago, and another part is indirect, which we will get to know much better in the next lesson. Today's lesson is focused entirely on the fixed part, meaning we can successfully transfer a constant numerical value into a specific word. In our previous lesson about the PLC-LS series, we talked in detail about the PLC's internal memory and said that we can display a single word as a set of 16 individual bits, and each of these bits can be set to either 0 or 1. For example, right here it is showing us the address MW100, where only its least significant bit, which is bit 0, is currently set to 1, and all the rest of the bits are set to 0. So we can accurately say that MW100 here has a total value of 1. Therefore, if we manually set the constant value of 1 in our word switch settings, upload the entire program to the HMI, connect it properly to a PLC, and assign the specific address MW100 to that word switch. Whenever we press the word switch on the screen, it will write the value 1 into MW100. That means in the memory location MW100, the bits will be arranged so that the least significant bit is 1 and all the rest are 0. Similarly, if we enter the address MW100 in the word switch and assign it the constant value of 2, then whenever we press the word switch, the value 2 will be transferred to MW100 in our PLC. The number 2 in a word is represented so that bit 0 is 0, bit 1 is 1, and the rest are 0. In the same way, if we want to transfer the constant value 3 into MW100, whenever we press the word switch, it will transfer the number 3 to our MW100. This logic applies specifically when we have selected the MW memory area in our word switch. But if, like in this specific case, we have selected QW instead, then we can consider the PLC outputs as a single word, and for each individual output, depending on our specific needs, we can specify whether it should be 0 or 1. So this actually displays the PLC outputs for us, which are 16 physical outputs in total. Here, according to the example we did, we said that we set the value of QX 0.0.0 to 1, and then we look at QX 0.0.2 as well. Gotcha. We set its specific value to 1, and then we also set the value of QX 0.0.4 to 1 as well. As I explained to you a little bit earlier, we had 3 different lamps that we connected directly to the PLC outputs Q3, Q2, and Q4. So these 3 specific outputs should be set to 1, and we set the rest of the remaining outputs to 0. Now this is a binary number, and if we convert this specific binary number into a decimal format, it becomes the number 21. So if we go into the XBuilder software environment and look in this fixed value section, if I enter the number 21 here, set its value to 21 and confirm it, and then upload this program to the HMI, basically the exact same program we just did together, then whenever I press this start switch, the Q0, Q2, and Q4 outputs will be activated for us automatically. Now I can confirm this process for you. In this section, we also selected a word switch for setting up or turning off our lamps. This is actually a word switch similar to the previous one, with the difference that here the fixed value we specified for it is set to 0. That is, it's the same address, QW0.0. We have entered the command right here and specified that whenever we press this particular button, it will automatically set the numerical value of 0 into the address QW0.0.0. If we successfully set the value of 0 into this specific QW register, in fact, it will effectively set every single one of our outputs back to 0. So, with the help of this word switch function, we can also easily turn off those 3 lamps that we saw earlier in the demonstration. Now we can also take some time to review its other various settings together. This display section is quite similar to the settings we previously configured in the bit switch. And here we can easily choose a specific color for both the on and off states, and we can also select the desired switch mode from the menu. With the help of this comprehensive library section, if we go, as we already explained in the bit switch tutorial, we can choose many different shapes and colors for our custom switch. Also, in this dedicated text section, we can write a custom text for the on and off states, and we can set the specific font style and all the related font settings right here. Well, we will make sure to teach you the rest of its advanced settings in the upcoming next tutorial. Thank you very much for staying here with me today.